Hey there, Maury Curtis Dunbar here with Painted Studio. We are working on some exclusive content for YouTube. I'm working on two signs right now. Let me scoot out of the way so you can see them both. There is a coffin sign and a pumpkin sign. Now, if you might have seen some of the other ones we did, here is our skull sign. And we did both sides. One very bright and colorful, one subtle. So we're doing similar signs. They will be available for sale, but right now we're going to put foil adhesive on all of them. So I will put adhesive on this one and give you the idea of the pattern that we're going in. So flip the camera down. I have my Artsyville foil adhesive in the jar. Obviously this is not the jar it came in. I use different ones when I like to pour off and reduce the size of the gallon so that not so much air is exposing to the adhesive and drying it out faster than I want it. So I'm going to take two brushes here, and I think we're going to start with our pumpkin first. And I'll do the rest of it later because I want to foil the pumpkin first. I want to do this all right. If you hear any chug chug sounds in the background, that is my Cricut Maker cutting little lettering things, working its little heart off for our next part of this sign. Oops, don't want that there. Now, foil adhesive is fantastic. Our foil adhesive sets up in an hour. And then once it's set up past that hour point, it is permanently sticky at the right level of tack. You could come back a year later and foil this if I wanted to, although it would probably be not only sticky adhesive, it would be covered in dust, which, you know, not a great result. So you want to brush it on and let it set up for a minimum of an hour, but you can walk away for days or weeks and come back and it'll still be good. Now, the other thing you can see what I'm doing is I'm rebrushing surfaces because this foil adhesive doesn't level. So unless I want ridges of foil adhesive, I come back and I work it with my brush and smooth everything out until I get as smooth a texture on the surface as possible. It won't be perfectly smooth, but it'll be much closer than if I just glopped it on and walked away. So definitely work the adhesive across your surface. That also makes sure that the whole thing's covered, and you can get a nice even application. All right, let's do that. Got that there. That one's gonna dry. Okay, and so then we're gonna do the inside of our coffin, and as you can see, there's a lip around here. I have a lip painted a different color because I'm going to do a different final look on it on the edges and on the inside. But the first thing I'm going to do is paint the inside of this coffin shaped door hanger with adhesive. Now, I can use a bigger brush, and I will, but the smaller brush offers me a little extra control right around the edges, so that's a nice thing to have. Everybody's like, you don't tape anything. Generally I don't, unless I really have to. I've been painting a long time, so I'm pretty good freehand, and also if I make mistakes, I know how to fix them. So a lot of times the judgment is, do I feel like putting tape on here? The answer to this is no. The reason I'm not putting tape on this is it's brand fresh new paint that I applied about 30 minutes ago. And while I could probably use a super low tack painter's tape, I really don't feel like bothering. I don't want to find out the hard way that the paint was still too fresh for me to be doing that with. I don't feel like having to do that kind of repairs if I've screwed it up. So I just freehand it. However, if that is not your comfort level, or if you don't work as fast as I do. Part of the problem is I work really fast, so I need to get things done. So if you don't need to wait as long as I did, or if you can wait longer than I did, I should say, you know, tape it off after this is dried for a day or two. Okay, the other thing to know is you cannot thin our Artsyville foil adhesive with more than 5% water, and that's simply to loosen it up if it's gotten too thick in the jars. If you put it more water in there, you strongly increase the chance of this adhesive not being strong enough to grab on the surface. All the way down. I want some nice lines here. I want everything as even as possible. Come back this way. Let's splot it a little bit. Let's come in here. And as you can see, I'm still smoothing it out and working out as many of my brush strokes as I can while I'm applying. All right, let's get this. Definitely wash your brush out as soon as you're done, because once the adhesive hardens on your bristles, it's not fun. Now this can also be applied with a roller or with a sprayer that can handle thick materials. Both the roller and the sprayer need to be cleaned out, although you can stick your rollers, roll your rollers in press and seal, and they can go right into the freezer, and you don't have to constantly wash out and reload your rollers. Personally, I just like to wash everything because I'm kind of weird that way. I just don't like starting with a roller that already has something in it, because I never know if I've contaminated it from my last project. Okay. Let's go back and forth here. And see, now I can smooth my brush strokes out, make any choppy bits go away. It also applies the foil adhesive a little more evenly, so I don't have spots that are really heavy with adhesive and then really light with it. Let me go back up here to the top. I know it's not on camera. I just want to make sure I've got everything as spread out as I can possibly get it, so that it's ready to go in an hour. So now, those two boards are going to be set aside for an hour, and when I go live this afternoon, we will apply the foil to them, and then I will apply more adhesive on the other areas. But I just wanted to do a quick video showing you exactly the way I apply my Artsyville foil adhesive and how helpful that can be. All right, everyone, have a good one.